Our speaker today, Reverend Sharon Flynn, is not a stranger to us. And when she's on the podium, she always brings us a message of enlightenment that we can apply to our everyday lives. But for those of you who don't know her or know about her, she's a minister here at the chapel, the Metaphysical Chapel of Life, and she has been a chapel member since 1994. In 1999, she became a Novitiate Minister through the chapel. In 2002, she was fully ordained under the auspices of our mother church, the Church of Enlightenment. She has owned and operated Hypnosis and Healing Centers since 2002 locally and in other areas, using her gifts and abilities as a spiritual director and consultant, an advanced energy healer, a certified hypnotherapist, and a teacher of classes and workshops. Her prior career in the medical field as a radiology technologist for 25 years. She don't look that old, does she? She started when she was like 10 years old, something like that. And it helped to shape her natural healing abilities and understanding of the human form. And here at the chapel, she's our minister who oversees spiritual healing, teaches spiritual healing classes, and also facilitates seasonal celebrations. You know, you all have been to the spring, summer, winter, fall. She's also experienced several near-death experiences, as well as numerous expanded spiritual experiences that guided her on this path of eternity healing modalities and facilitating change and soul growth for others. She's also blessed, and I wanted to call this her legacy, but it's not over yet. She's also blessed with 2 sons and a daughter, 4 grandsons and 2 granddaughters, and I get the feeling that family is still growing. So I give you our speaker, Reverend Sharon Flynn.
Well, thank you. I don't think it's going to grow anymore. They've got their 2. And that's what they like. That's what they have preferred. So, all right. Well, when I start off with my talks, I always start with prayer. So let us pray. Father, Mother God, Heavenly Creator, I ask for the connection to be made to the higher self. And as we connect, we bring forth that presence, that connection to our soul, which is connected to God, to the source. And I ask that I be utilized as the messenger for this lecture today through your work and through your love. And I ask this in Christ's light, Christ's name, amen. All right, good morning. Good morning. So it's like I can't see half the people. Well, you know, it's fine. It's fine. No problem. So, when I first started putting this together, Source always have been giving me messages all along and several times during the week. And one of the messages is, I must have loved to be an advertising agent. I never did it, but I did it in DE, and I know nobody, and so I won awards for putting words together. And so my words that came to me is co-pilot with Source, co-piloting with God. So that was my talk of the day. And it kind of springs off the same from last week with Angela and your meditation. Aren't we all here to connect to Source, to connect to God? So, and the other part of that message was let Source guide your day. Let Source talk to your heart, so you can listen to the music and to the words and to the feelings. So I'm going to kind of stop there and segue into what I experienced yesterday. I had a very interesting situation at my house. My dogs, they hear, well, one dog hears more than I hear, but the other dog hears about what I do. He's so old. And anyways, and so I heard something that sounded like somebody knocked on the door. And the dogs went, you know, they went running to the front door, and I'm going, that didn't sound like a knock. And of course, I'm leaning out my window on the other side. There's nobody there. So I go, that's interesting. It almost sounded like something hit it. Well, sure enough, there was a bird with a little wing, not even, it just looked so pitiful. And so, of course, the dogs were, oh, look, we got something here. No, I kept them away. And so I feel like the bird was hurt and stunned. I'm pretty sure it was what hit my glass front door, or the glass storm door. So I said, to me, I'm going to go out there and see what's going on. So I sat down on the steps near where the bird was and just put my hands on the bird, not touching it, but just hovering around it. And it didn't move, and it was hard. It was breathing very heavily. And then the next thing I know, those blue jays, the blue jay came from the tree, went right straight to this bird again and was attacking the bird. And I go, no, I did actually yell and scream, and I sent the blue jay away. So the poor little bird was still there, and I go, okay, what can I do for this bird? So I always ask, it's God's creature, I want to know what I can do. And I kept put my hands around the bird. And so I stayed there for as long as I felt that it was ready to receive. And then I go, well, if there's a blue jay over there, maybe this little baby needs some water and some food. So I went back to the back. I threw some out for the blue jay. And I put the water, good old Chick-fil-A little containers, you can keep some of those things. And so I put it underneath the little shrub that I'm pretty sure the little bird had a nest in. And so I left the bird, went back inside, came back around, and then sat again on the steps in my front porch. And I was trying to put the water next to the bird a little bit so it saw it. And then I did a little bit more healing, and then I kind of just backed away and let it just sit for a few minutes. And the next thing I know, tuck that wing in, tuck the other wing in, and he flew off. So, yay! I felt like I really established some healing. So, animals really get to me. And I like, the other miracle I had, there's 5 deer in my backyard. So, and I live in Riverside area, but they have to jump over fences to get to me. So they did. So anyways, I felt that I was very blessed for God to give me this miracle that I could help something, a little bird, whatever it is. I don't really help roaches. That's the only thing I don't really help. So sorry. So sorry. I do not help them. I will. Well, I'll throw them outside. Let's put it that way. If I hadn't already stomped it, so. Sorry. Those aren't real roaches. Those are the water bugs that I get. So they're like. They don't count. No, they do not count. So anyways, I felt really happy to take care of one of God's creatures. And I got to thinking about that experience. And so there was, we always put some kind of intention, at least I do, every day. I work in God's world, okay? I have to put that. So I always do the Martin Luther King little saying. It's right in my front door. It's a little bit angled because I didn't put those little pieces of, you know what I'm talking about, those stickers. It's just a little angled. I see it every day when I walk by it, and I still see it angled. I don't know. We got some joy guides here, so. So anyways, this is my little ditty I say every day. Use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do, and use it for a purpose greater than myself. To me, you've got it all inclusive there. And I just find that helps me set my day right. Or 5 times, 6 times, how many times I go in and out the door, I try to look at it. So now I realize that I'm asking God to be my co-pilot every single day, every single act, everything I can do. And I came across a verse from the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So to me, I felt like God brought me these circumstances where I could be of assistance. And whether it's just a little bird, help your neighbor, help somebody, older person putting, groceries in the cart, whatever it is that you're being presented to help people so you can guide. So, this is a message I come and speak about a lot. About God is my co-pilot. God is a part of everything I do. But I feel like I have had somewhat of an advantage over some people because of my near-death experiences and all my spiritual experiences. I think that a lot of people have a harder time connecting. I mean, I see it every day with my work. And most people come in, they want to be connected, and they want that piece of wisdom that is obtainable and doable. And to me, it just came easy. So when I had my near-death experience, the one that I remember, I don't remember my 3 when I was born. I had, 3 blessings read to me, but I did make it. And I'm here to tell you I made it, but I don't remember it. But I remember when I had was bleeding and I was dying. I had just had my son, so I was going into shock. And I know I've talked about this, but one of the things that I really want to hone in is that when I was up in that ceiling in the corner, I could feel God's love so well. I mean, it just sounds so weird. Up in the ceiling in the corner, I felt enfolded in love. I felt as if I was part of a bigger whole. I felt so expanded. Yeah. And truly, I just wanted to go with God. It felt like home. It was home. It was my deep connection, and it just made me feel so good. But they said no. You had to go and take care of that little boy, which was fine. And I came back, and they gave me 2 or 3 transfusions, and I felt like a limp rag for about 4 months, but I've recovered. So to me, when we're looking at having God as our co-pilot, the easiest thing to do, and I always like practical things. I'm just a practical person, and I like to put certain habits and certain routines in my day. So every day, we've got to set up our day. And I've said this umpteen times. We got to set up our day how we want it. If we just willy-nilly and made it and got our phone, our wallet, and our keys and got in our car, most people, that's all they do to get to work or whatever. But the most important thing to me is to get connected before I even step in that car. And you connect with intention. So I'm going to just read these 4. And these may very well change as we become more expanded energetically. So the first thing is connect with intention. Second thing is feel and know that connection is plugged in. And that is something that we're going to talk about today. And the third is feel the supply of light and love. And that supply of light and love is what I felt when I had my near-death experiences and when I've had umpteen spiritual experiences. So I could feel that deep connection, and I know it was there. And it's sort of like plugging yourself up to a electric wiring, and you know it's there. So, and the other thing is allowing the energy, once you get plugged in, to circulate around you. And when I say that, it's more that you circulate God's energy through your body, connect to the earth, and let it flow back up and continue to fill within you. So I'm going to talk about that connection and kind of break those 4 things down. So the connections through intention. So our first thing that I always ask for is to connect to the higher self. Now, when you connect to the higher self and you're quiet enough in your inner mind, you know that presence is there. It's a little hard sometimes if you've got a lot of stuff going on around you, but if you allow that quiet part of you to connect to that higher self, then you will be able to rise up to a higher vibration after that. So that higher vibration is the connection that you would have to your soul. So it's sort of like how you make a telephone call and you know what telephone number to dial to get to your higher self, and then you know another feeling that would be another number to call to get to that. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, because a lot of people come in like my office and I'll know it's like the great grandmother or it's, you know, their father energy. And I don't see as like a lot of people see. I see through closing my eyes. Yeah. And I see through my inner vision. Now, sometimes I can see a density coming into the space, but I have to close to really connect. And so when I close my eyes, then you want to use your heart center to know which telephone that you are answering, what telephone call you can answer. So when I get to that soul level is more of a feeling, but it's almost like a note to me. It's a particular higher vibrational notes. You know how these people have the different vibrational frequencies. What do they call their Sophigio frequencies? And you can utilize those. But I want to do this. I brought a little bowl with me.
Oh, you're not going to believe this.
What?
I just brought the big one that matches that one and left it in the line up front.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
It's for you guys. So,
okay.
I can't believe you just picked that up. Because
yeah.
I can bring it in here if you want to play it.
No, I don't want to play it. This is a frequency that goes with your third eye.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it a certain key?
This is a B. It's a B key. I'm sorry. This is B and this is A. This is A. This is an A key. And the reason why I brought it in is because this type of music is the music that I hear when I connect to my higher self. So I just want invite y'all to just close your eyes for a moment and just take in a couple of deep breaths in. Just take another breath and release it out. And if you have a certain level of tension, pay attention to it because it's probably across your forehead. All righty. And now just slowly open your eyes and just kind of, this is not a question and answer thing right now, okay? But Notice where it hit you. Notice where you were feeling it. I mean, I'm right over it, so I'm feeling it right here. And I can feel it kind of strengthening, and it's almost like it opened a window or a doorway for me when I heard that. So maybe there's something you can do on a daily basis that can open. So music to me is one of the biggest ways to connect to your higher self. I mean, it's just very valuable to me. And I have 7 of those in my music room, and it makes me laugh when I play them. It's like not laugh, ha ha, but laugh like I'm not here in this planet. I'm in another planet, okay? And it's great. So I find that quite interesting. So we're now moving to music, nature. Oh Lord, nature, and just hearing the birds and hearing the sound of the wings. I love that you did that, Betty. She did the wings on the. I love that. And then looking, just listening. Sometimes you can just go in your house and you listen. I know years and years ago, I would walk in my home and hear music. I mean, it's just like the choir of angels, basically. They were like, oh, just like that music you had. It was very, very, it's not that I don't hear it now, but I hear mostly barking. So I kind of miss that. So we have to be plugged in, or we can choose to be plugged in. We have so many choices. Gosh, and the time is it just flows by so fast. So if we get something in like a plugged in, a routine, then it helps for us to, be able to hook in and be guided. So if God's your co-pilot, you can just relax the whole day. And also literally let everything be guided by God. I had this situation one time that I knew I was guided by God. I mean, it was not any doubt. I was going to go with a friend to a show in Petersburg. We were on that very high-rise bridge that you're going from, Richmond to that. And of course, it must have been something, because I saw this ugliest green landscape truck way back there. That is the ugliest green. I kept saying that. That's the ugliest green truck I've ever seen. And anyways, it ended up being right in front of us as we were going over that bridge. And something caught my eye where the end of the truck and the bed started. There was a rock coming out of it slowly. And I was right in the way. Literally where I was sitting. I was the passenger. And somebody else was driving. And I started praying as soon as I saw that I couldn't tell what size that rock was. Had no idea. And, well, it did come out. And I think the angels pulled the wheel over just slightly because it hit the back window behind me. But I saw it, I felt it, and it hit me too. It tore a hole in my heart. I could feel, oh, get the number. I'm going. There was no way I could even function. It probably I had to reconnect to the earth and do all sorts of stuff. So I knew God was there with me. I knew that there was no doubt in that. So there are so many situations that that you are plugged in, but we don't have to be plugged in. We just need a lot more angels around us if we're going to do that. But I think that we're in a place now that everything's going to start to shift and change. These last couple of days have been pretty intense. I have had a spiritual experience where I could feel the light coming over and it's surrounding me. And it was kind of interesting because it must have been a resetting in the heart center, because I was like, at first it was, this is creepy feeling. And then the next thing I know, my heart is like feeling anxious, and I'm going, why am I anxious? And if it's good, and then I had to do another whole analysis of this energy, and I realized that the anxiousness was about pulling away anything that I was anxious about, maybe some trips coming up, or maybe some things that I didn't even know were lodged in my heart. So after that energy left, I felt renewed and just filled with a lot of light. So let's talk about connecting in using imagery, color, feeling, something that will bring you back to where you feel connected to God, and feel and know that connection, like you're plugged in. You know, you can even imagine being plugged into a switchboard operator in the sky. Just imagine here's my cord, and the angels take it up there for you. So, as this change is starting to occur, it's going to start affecting our body more. And it's going to rewire us. That's what we're being done right now, is we're being rewired. Because before, and it's going to be a lot easier too to connect to God, because what I would call like an overlay or a covering that kept us separate than God has now starting to dissipate. We're moving into a new age. The old age had a covering to disconnect us, because there was like 79% dark in the dark age and 21% light in the light age. So it was quite an effort to connect, and that's why people have come in a lot of times from near deaths and things like that to spread that word that we are connected. So when we are moving into this new light age, it's going to be, I want it to be 100%, so 100% light. We'll probably have some 10% dark, but we'll see. We don't know. But the thing is that I do know is that we're all connected to God. Yes. And we all can be the conduit for this light to spread and to expand and to allow our new wiring. So when I say new wiring, that connection to God, to Source, is going to be direct. You can feel things are becoming easier and easier. Your intuition is growing and expanding. And your trust in what you're receiving is also expanding. So when you feel that connection, let it come through the top of your head, your crown, and imagine it's a gold wiring. Just close your eyes and just imagine this gold wiring coming in, and it's coming down into the third eye. And as it comes into the third eye, it's sort of like it's plugged in there. It has its own little plug, if you would, and then bring it down to your throat center, and then bring it down to your heart. And go down all the way down to the spine where the solar plexus is, right below your ribs, and then to the belly button area, and now to the bottom of the spine. And let that light continue down into your feet, moving from the long bones of your hips to your knees, to your calves, to your ankles, to your feet. And imagine that your feet have a supply of new energy. It was like it kind of has grabbed your foot, and then you can grow roots and let it grow roots down into the earth. And then you want to breathe in this energy again from the earth, make it green, and breathe that energy in until it comes all the way back up to your crown center. And then imagine that the green and the yellow are mixing, and they're flowing throughout your whole body. Imagine that as it goes through your spine, it's now growing and expanding outward and outward and outward. And please include your arms and your hands too, and your fingers, until you become an iridescent green, yellow light, and feel it flowing through you, in you, and just breathe up the green energy again, and feel that it's intermixing, and you are now, every breath you bring in, you're breathing in this beautiful light energy that's coming to your heart. It's breathing up the green energy, and then anytime you exhale out, anything you want to let go of, anything that you want to unplug from, any old habits you want to let go. You can use this technique to do 100 things. So just breathe in again and just come back, opening your eyes. So this new way, this new electrical system, if you blend in, because the earth isn't, to me, that's Gaia, and it's an energy, it's a consciousness. And in that consciousness, it's here to help us expand outward in our consciousness. We're physical, it's got a physical. So we can use that version of the new earth, because the earth is receiving God's light too. And that's what I love, to go outside and just kind of sit on the earth. Sometimes it's nice to throw that blanket out, lay down in the sun, and become the light and sink into the earth again, and then come back up. That's fantastic to do that. It might take a little bit to come back, though. So our electrical upgrade is essential for, I know it's essential for our spiritual consciousness, for this evolution that we're in. Our connection is stronger, more intuitive. We're going to have a deeper core to God, and we're going to be on the soul level. When you think of soul, you think of S-O-U-L, but there is an abbreviation of soul, S-O-L. It's basically source, the source of life is S-O-L, what that stands for. So I do believe that we are interconnected to God, and we are witnessing we're witnessing God through other people all the time, and other factors. So one of the biggest things that we can do is witness whatever we want to create. We can witness the flow of our new current energy, our new wiring. We could witness things that we want to happen. We want to see everything go peaceful in the eastern part of the world. We want to see people do what they can do to help others. So utilize this, because we all have there is a divine plan for all of humanity, collectively as well as individually. And our decision can be guided by source. So utilize your decisions and see how they sit with you. One of the things that I find is that when you're making a decision, sit with it and look into your heart center to see if that resonates with you. If you feel anxious, uncomfortable, then there might be something else you need to learn before you make that decision or choice. So the physical form, somatic healing, and using somatic energy into your body can be very, very helpful. I have one last thing I'd like to read. You know me, conversations with God. That's my go-to. And I didn't do much exploring in this book this morning. It sort of came to me. I just opened the book and there it was. And that's called bibliography. So I'm just going to read you 2 paragraphs, but I've already made that decision to write that, and I already written that, but then I came across this. So it says, it's Easter Sunday, 1993, and as instructed, I am here. I am here, pencil in hand, writing pad before me, ready to begin. I suppose I should tell you, God asked me to be here. We had a date. We were to begin today, Book 2, the second in a trilogy, which God and I and you are experiencing together. I had no idea what this book is going to say or even specific subjects that we will touch upon. That is because there's no plan for this book in my head. That's because there is no plan for this book in, there can't be. I'm not the one deciding what's going on and what's going to go into it. God is. So the next paragraph, on Easter Sunday, 1992, 1 year ago today, God began a dialogue with me. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's what happened. Not long ago, the dialogue ended, and I was given instructions to take a rest. But I told also that I had a date to return to this conversation this day. And you have a date too. We all have a date with God. We can choose to be with Him, but we already are with Him. We already have that knowledge. But we can turn it off or we can turn it on. The choice is yours. I'd rather have my angel with me and prevent a terrible car accident than not. I take him wherever I go, and I take all my angels wherever I go. But and this room is pretty crowded with them. So many, many blessings. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak, and you have a blessed, wonderful day.